You know that feeling, right? You're sitting on a plane, you look out the window at that massive wing, and you just kind of think, how in the world does this thing stay up here? Well, today, we're going to dive right into that. We're cracking the code on the incredible science of flight.
I mean, that's really the core question, isn't it? We're talking about hundreds of tons of metal, fuel, cargo, all of us, just floating miles above the ground. It really feels like it should be impossible. But it's not magic, it's physics. And honestly, the answer is way more elegant and cool than you might think. Okay, so to get this, you first have to picture every single airplane as being in the middle of a constant four-way tug-of-war. Seriously, it's this dynamic battle between these incredibly powerful forces. And the genius of flight? It's all about how we manage that invisible battle perfectly. And here they are, the contenders in this fight. It basically all boils down to two pairs of rivals. First up, you've got lift. That's the hero here, trying to pull the plane up. Its nemesis? Weight. That's just good old gravity always trying to pull it back down. Then you have thrust from the engines, pushing the plane forward, while drag, air resistance, is fighting to hold it back. For a plane to actually fly, the right forces have to win, and they have to win at exactly the right time.
So where does that all-important force, lift, actually come from? Well, the answer lies in what is maybe the most brilliant piece of engineering on the whole plane, the wing. But it's not just about having wings. Nope. The real secret is in their very specific and honestly ingenious shape.
Imagine if you could just slice a wing right open and look at it from the side. You'd see this exact shape. It's called an airfoil. And you'll notice it's got that classic curve on the top and it's much flatter on the bottom. That simple, elegant design, that is the key to everything. It's how we trick the air into conquering gravity.
All right, so to really understand why that airfoil shape is the magic ingredient, we need to talk about a guy named Daniel Bernoulli. His principle is basically the scientific key that unlocks the whole mystery of flight. And it's a really simple but powerful idea. As a fluid, like air, speeds up, its pressure goes down. So faster air means lower pressure. Just lock that away for a second.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together. This is the aha moment. As the plane is rocketing forward, the air hits the front of the wing and has to split, right? Some goes over the top, some goes under the bottom. Now, because of that curved top, the air going over has a longer path to travel in the same amount of time. So it has to speed up. And what did we just learn from Bernoulli? Faster air equals lower pressure. So you get this zone of low pressure above the wing, while the slower moving air underneath is still at a higher pressure. That difference between the high pressure below and the low pressure above creates a massive upward force. And that is lift. It's not about forcing the plane up. It's this incredibly clever trick of physics.
But of course, for any of that to work, the plane can't just be sitting still. The wing needs a ton of air flowing over it, and it needs it moving fast. And that's where the raw, awesome power of the engines comes into play.
So, modern jet engines, they all work on a law of physics I'm sure you remember from school, Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The easiest way to picture it, just think about blowing up a balloon and then letting it go. The air rushes out the back, that's the action. And the balloon zips forward, that's the reaction. A jet engine is really just a much, much more powerful and precisely controlled version of that same idea.
And inside that engine, it's kind of a beautifully violent four-step dance. First, that giant fan you see at the front sucks in an absolutely insane amount of air. Then, a whole series of compressor blades squeezes that air down with incredible force. Step 3, fuel gets sprayed in and ignited. We're talking a continuous, controlled explosion. And finally, all of that super hot, expanding gas has only one way to go, out the back at unbelievable speed. And that powerful blast backwards is the action that creates the forward thrust, the reaction that shoves the whole plane forward.
So while the engines are busy making thrust and the wings are making lift, the plane's design itself is fighting the other two guys, weight and drag. To fight weight, engineers use these incredibly strong but super lightweight materials like composites. And you know why planes look so sleek and smooth? That's not just for looks. Every single curve is designed to let the air flow over it as smoothly as possible, which cuts down on drag and makes the engine's job a whole lot easier.
Okay, so we've got the four forces. We've got the airfoil wing, we've got the powerful engines. Now, let's put it all together for what is easily the most critical moment of any flight, the takeoff. This is where everything we've talked about has to work in perfect, powerful harmony.
Now, before a plane can even think about leaving the ground, it needs to be going incredibly fast. We are talking way, way faster than highway speeds, and all while it's still on the runway. That sheer velocity is the absolute key ingredient to generating enough lift to finally beat that incredible weight.
So here's how it plays out in those few critical seconds. The pilot slams the engines to full thrust. The plane just barrels down the runway, faster and faster, until it hits a very specific number called rotation speed. The second it hits that speed, the pilot pulls back on the controls, which tilts the nose up and changes the angle of the wings. That move dramatically increases the lift, and in that one incredible moment, when lift finally becomes stronger than weight, the plane takes flight.
But taking off, that's really just the beginning. The rest of the flight, the entire climb, the cruise, the descent, it's all a continuous, dynamic balancing act. The pilots and the plane's computers are constantly making thousands of tiny, tiny adjustments to keep all four of those forces in a state of perfect balance. And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. An airplane's ability to fly isn't some single, mystical event. It's a finely tuned and continuous game of balance. It's not about a single moment of power, but a constant, ongoing negotiation with physics. Every single second a plane is in the air is just an amazing testament to how well we've mastered these forces.
When you stop and think about it, it's just an incredible achievement, isn't it? We've figured out how to play this game of balance so perfectly that we can defy gravity itself. And it really makes you wonder, now that we've conquered the air, what's the next challenge? Can we take these same principles of balance and ingenuity and finally make travel beyond our atmosphere just as routine? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one, and as always, keep looking up.